So, hello students. Today we are going to learn chapter number 5, special types of quadrilaterals of class 8. Today we are going to learn part 4 of chapter number 5. Okay. So, in the previous part, we have learned about different types of quadrilaterals. Okay, special types of quadrilaterals we are learning. In that we have seen up till now two types of quadrilaterals, that is a trapezium and a parallelogram. Now today in this part we are going to learn about types of parallelograms. Okay, so we have learned that a parallelogram is a quadrilateral. Suppose let us consider that this one is a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are parallel to each other. You can say that these opposite sides are, both the pair of opposite sides are parallel to each other, then such a figure is known as a parallelogram. Okay, now this parallelogram, it can be further divided into three types, or there are further three types of parallelograms. The first one is known as a rectangle, the second one is a rhombus, and the third one is a square. Okay, so let us learn one by one properties of each of these types of parallelograms. Okay, now today we are going to learn first the properties of a rectangle. Okay, so now, what is a rectangle? Okay, a rectangle is nothing but what? A special type of a parallelogram. Now, why it is a parallelogram, or if it is a parallelogram, then its opposite sides are parallel to each other. We can see that in a rectangle, opposite sides are parallel to each other. Therefore, it is a parallelogram. Okay. Now, there are some special properties of a rectangle. Let us see it one by one. Now, in a rectangle, since it is a parallelogram, therefore opposite sides are parallel to each other. So we can say that side AD, that is this AD, is parallel to BC that we have written over here. And side AB is parallel to side CD. Okay. Now, next property is that opposite sides are equal. Okay, that is this side AD is equal to side BC, and at the same time side AB is equal to side CD. Okay, now these all are what? These all are properties of a parallelogram only. Okay, now our next property, a different property, is that opposite angles of a rectangle, they are equal. Okay, now this is also a property of a parallelogram, that opposite angles are equal. But a special property is that we can see that each angle of a rectangle is what? It is 90 degree. How much? It is 90 degree. Now this is a special property, what? That opposite angles are equal, but at the same time all angles, their measure is how much? Its measure is equal to 90 degree. Okay. The next property is that the diagonal. Now this is also a property of a parallelogram, that the diagonals, they bisect each other. Okay. Now if the diagonals, they bisect each other. Okay, let me bring this figure here downside so it will be easy for us to understand. Okay. So now opposite angles are equal and all angles are equal to 90 degree. So we get angle A equals to angle B equals to C equals to D equals to 90 degree. Now next property is that the diagonal, they bisect each other. Okay. Now here we have our two diagonals, that is AC and BD. They both intersect each other at point O. So we can say that AO is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. Okay, now when this AO is equal to OC, at the same time each one of them is half of the original one, that is AC. So we have written here AO equals to OC equals to half of AC, and at the same time this BO is equal to OD, and each one of them is what? Half of BD. Okay, so BO equals to OD equals to half of BD. Okay, now next important property is that now these diagonals of a rectangle, they are equal to each other. So we can say that if the length of AC is 10, directly we can write, therefore length of BD is also equals to how much? 10 centimeter. Okay, so here we have seen about 5 properties of a rectangle. Our first property is that opposite sides are parallel. Second one, opposite sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal, that is each angle is equal to 90 degree. The next we have learned that diagonal they bisect each other and the diagonals are equal. Okay, now let us solve one example based on this one. Okay, now here we have our first example that the length of a rectangle is 12 centimeter and each of its diagonal measures 15 centimeter. We have to find its breadth. So let us consider that this ABCD is the required rectangle where the length is how much? 12. So this one is length. Now this one will be the breadth. Okay, and the measure of diagonal. So this BD is one of the diagonal. So it is how much? 15 centimeter. We have to find the length of this DC. Okay, now if you look at this figure, in this ABCD, we know that if it is a rectangle, so each angle of this rectangle will be how much? 90 degree. Okay, so we have written here in figure, in triangle BCD, it is a right angle triangle, and right angle at which point? Angle C. So if it is a right angle triangle, we can make use of Pythagoras theorem. Okay, what is Pythagoras theorem? So hypotenuse square equals to base square plus altitude square. Now in this triangle, what is our hypotenuse? So this BD is our hypotenuse and its value is 12 centimeter. Let us consider BC as base and CD as the altitude. Okay, so next what do we get? So hypotenuse means BD square equals to BC square plus CD square. Now what is the value of BD? So it is 15 centimeter. BC, so it is 12 centimeter. CD is unknown. Okay, we have to find its value. Now, next step, square of 15 is 225, square of 12 is 144, CD is unknown, so we have written it here. Now, in next step, what we have to do, we want to keep the CD on one side and remaining all the numbers on the other side. So you'll change the side of this 144. If it comes on this side, it will subtract. So we get 225 minus 144 equals to CD square. Okay. Now, finally we get, now 225 minus 144 is how much? 81 equals to CD square. But we don't want this square over here. We just want simply CD. So if you want to remove this one, what you have to do? You have to take a square root of both sides. Square root of both sides. So when we take a square root of both the sides, okay, we get square root. The symbol is for square root. Square root of 81 is equal to CD. Okay, therefore now 81 is a perfect square number and it is square of 9. So in next step you get 9 equals to CD, that is CD equals to 9 centimeter. Now what is CD? So as per the figure, CD is nothing but our breadth. So finally we get that breadth equals to 9 centimeter. Okay, now let us look at this step once again. If you're not able to understand this one, I'm just writing one more step this side. Okay, so this step I am writing here. So this root 81, okay, first what we were having, 81 equals to CD square. Okay, now this CD square we don't want this square over here, we simply want CD. So 81 is a perfect, we have to write this number in such a way that a number which multiplies by itself and give 81. So therefore you will get 9 into 9 equals to CD into CD. Okay, this square means CD is multiplying itself two times. So here also we have taken such a number which is multiplying itself and giving us answer 81. Now what you have to do, consider only one, that is 9, and here also CD. So finally what you will get, therefore 9 equals to CD, that is CD equals to 9 centimeter. Okay, so just to remember this one. Okay, let me highlight it with a different color. So If you're not able to understand how the square root came here, so you should go by this step. Okay, so this much is enough for today. Thank you. Have a nice